clashing. Lots of clashing. So the present being Four of Pentacles, this is why I think that the rebranding became about money, especially with Colleen. I think that she might have had some finance issues. I don't know this. This is the energy that I get. I haven't seen this online or anywhere. But I think very strongly that she has had some financial issues, some personal life issues. I think she might even have some addiction issues. And that's what prompted her, Colleen, to side on the money side. So let's see. Let's clarify. Four of Pentacles. Hi everyone, welcome back to No Light Tarot. My name is Hallie. So grateful to have you all. So let's get into this reading. I just posted a poll about 2 days ago and I was trying to get ideas for what to do, and I posted a poll asking if you want me to do a video about this or not. A majority, I think like 60 something % of you, the last time I checked, said that I should cover this, and it is the drama behind It Ends With Us movie that has recently come out with starring Blake Lively and Justin Baldini, as much as many other people. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Yeah, his last name right. I know it's Italian, so it's Baldini, if I remember. I used to. Anyways, long story short, I know some Italian, but I don't know if I pronounced that right. So I just want to preface this with like a story time. You can always jump ahead. I will have timestamps up about it. But so I've said this before. I used to live in LA. I used to live in New York. I was actually born in New York, but I grew up in South Africa and England. Growing up, I've just always been surrounded by entertainers. Part of my family are entertainers, actually. Very well known in South Africa as entertainers. I'm not really close to that side of the family. But all I want to say is that I've grown up around entertainers a lot. And I'm usually very drawn to actors, especially working in the restaurant industry in New York. A lot of my exes have been actors. A lot of my good friends have been actresses or actors. My sister was an actress. So I've been around actors a lot. And one of my best friends for a very long time was an actor. He still is, but just not friends. And so I've heard a lot of rumors through the rumor mill about certain actors, and I met many actors, famous, non-famous, also working, like I said, in restaurants in New York. I met as clients many actors, and a lot of actors work in the restaurant industry that are making it, are trying to make it, and some I know have become famous, some I know just do like it's not just a thing to do Broadway show. I don't like to talk down to actors because it is an art, especially my sister, who has passed on, was a very talented person, and it's sad that a lot of people don't look at it as an art and don't look at it as something serious. But being with a lot of actors, I appreciate the art of acting. I really do, because it is an art. With that being said, through the different actors I've dated, met, been friends with, and so forth, and I'm just putting actors into one category, actresses and actors, I've heard a couple of things, kind of rumors that have gone around, and both being one of them, because I used to love Jane the Virgin. That was one of my favorite shows, and it was on the CW. And I can't remember exactly who I said this to, but I remember I used to watch it in my room when I lived in New York. I was obsessed with it. But I remember that I had a huge crush on Justin Baldini. He played Raphael on Jane the Virgin. And I just remember people telling me, one or two people told me that he was kind of hard to work with. He was very particular about his art. I don't remember who it was that told me this. I do know a few people that I'm guessing did, but I don't want to put it into their mouths and ruin their reputations or say things, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to put things in people's mouths. But I do remember at least two people telling me that. Not a lot of people told me that. One or two people told me that. So not at least one or two people. I want to correct myself. Now, the other side of that, because Gossip Girl was filmed in New York, they all used to live in New York, so I met a few people in the cast of Gossip Girl. I didn't meet Blake Lively, but I did hear horror stories about Blake Lively. It's very unfortunate that I heard that, especially because recently what's come out about her being mean. There's been a couple of circumstances. I will tell you a story a little later about when I met one of the fellow Gossip Girl people. I've actually met 3 of them, but they all were not very nice. I'm going to be honest with you, they were not very nice at all. And it kind of made me not watch the show anymore. I used to love it in the beginning, and then once I met them, because it was around the same time, I met towards the end of the show, so around, I want to say 2011, 2012, because time is very spatially weird. I met 3 of them. 2 of them was at a place that I worked at. One of them was through a person that I knew, and I did not get, especially, I met that Jessica, I forgot her name. I met Jessica through a person that I knew, and she was not very friendly. I think she actually went to the college that I went to, and that's how I met her, through that person, because he went to the same college. Anyways, long story short, they were just not very nice, and so I believed, when I heard the rumors about her, I believed she was not a nice person, because I had encountered my situations with those cast members too. So being in New York, being in LA, mainly in New York, I did hear stories mostly about her not being very nice, and 1 or 2 people telling me some things about him. I did go on social media the other day and I expressed that I had heard some things about him kind of being hard to work with, and somebody who worked on Jane the Virgin replied back to me and she refuted that, so I just want to let that know, and I do apologize for spreading that. It's just what I have heard. I do kind of feel bad for repeating it, because I've since then heard that he's a wonderful person. I mean, I really don't know. He actually has the same birthday as my sister, which is very I love that, being a fellow Aquarius. So let's get into this. There is a lot of backstory if you haven't heard, apparently, and there are other channels that might explain this better than I have. So if you feel like it's confusing, feel free to pause this and go check out what happened and then come back. So this is what's going on the internet, that if you don't know about the book by Colleen Hoover, It Ends With Us, is about DV. We can't say the full word on YouTube without getting demonetized, but the book is about DV. And I actually remember I had a friend that was really obsessed with it when it came out in like 2017 it was, I believe, and this was in New York, 2017. She was obsessed, like obsessed, and she felt like, she told me that it like moved her because she'd been in a similar situation. And let me just tell you something, I say this all the time, that I've gotten over many things in my life, many things, but if I'd ever gone through DV, I honestly don't know how women or men, because men go through it too, have the courage to leave, to get up, to pull themselves out of that situation. It takes a lot of courage, and I admire those who have, and I really can't speak on it because I haven't gone through it. All I can just do is send them love, empathy and compassion, because it's not an easy situation. I covered that about Diddy with Cassie. Like, people love to throw around words like, why did they stay, which I can't stand that when people say that. I really can't stand that, because I, thank God, knock on wood, have never been in that situation, but I've had controlling exes where I've broken up with them and they've denied that I broke up with them and tried to kind of come back into my life, stalk me, that kind of thing. They've never done anything physically to me, but they have tried to call my job, stuff like that, and situations and so forth to control me and to maybe come back to them. So it's very nuanced, it's very complicated, and you can't just look at it as black and white. That's all I have to say about that. So it is a very sensitive topic, and I've heard that I mean, you even see how it's being portrayed. I was very shocked initially when I saw the advert, the trailer for it. It was last summer, actually, when I saw the trailer for it, because I feel like, even though I loved Gossip Girl, I think Blake Lively is she's, to me, not the best actress, in my opinion. I think there are, and I feel bad saying this because I know acting is an art, but just visually, like how she comes across through film, she's not that appealing to me. And I'm not talking about aesthetic, I think she's very pretty, but I feel like she lacks depth. Same thing with Jessica Alba. I think Jessica Alba is very pretty, but they lack depth, you know. That's just what I've gotten the energy of. And that's why I was shocked when she was cast in the movie, because I knew that the movie was about toxic relationship. You know, I remember Justin Baldini talking about it, because I followed him for a while, because I really have been a fan of his for a long time. Not really fan, because I don't really like fan, but I just like what he represents. Yeah, I just like what he represents. And I do want to be non-biased about this, that's why I'm being honest. I like a lot of what he says about, you know, toxic masculinity. I do think it exists. Toxic femininity exists too. I think sometimes people talk about it too much and they don't place emphasis on the feminine side too, because women can be just as nasty in different ways, sometimes the same way. But I like that he takes ownership, and that's such a big thing to me as somebody that is big on growth. So, long story short, apparently, allegedly, that there has been issues with behind the scenes, with how it's being promoted. People aren't very happy with Blake Lively. I went to her Instagram and I saw a lot of comments that weren't very nice, and I don't condone that, sending people comments like that. And she's left her comments open, which I give her she has a lot of chutzpah to do that. So we're going to see. I'm going to do a breakdown and we'll see. So I've pulled past, present, and future, and the general energy. I'm using the Light Years Tarot, and yeah, so minus my intro. And also, one last thing, I saw a video posted about Blake Lively. I mean, you can look at it yourself. The interviewer, her name is Kirsty Fleur. She's Norwegian journalist, and she's interviewing Blake Lively. It's so hard to watch because it just brings back memories of people being like mean girls, being mean to me. It brings back memories actually of me dealing with a celebrity. I wasn't interviewing her, but I had a very similar instance with Cameron Diaz. She was very mean to me. She gave me very mean girl vibes, and I've spoken about the story before, where she was very nasty to me. In fact, I had to stop watching her movies for some time. But I think, and I've said this before many times, in the age of Aquarius, the age of technology, the age of exposure, people are done with elitists and celebrities thinking that they're better than other people. And I've said this to you before, that it's time for celebrities to be humble about themselves and to really be more down to earth. And you know, I saw also that she did this Fox interview, Blake Lively, and they were asking, I mean, especially as somebody that has, I wouldn't say I have fans, but I have subscribers and followers, and when they message me stories about how I've helped them, or you know, it just touches my heart so much that people even think to message me and they think of me about something. And I'm just grateful that something that I said has impacted their lives, you know, even if it's one person. So there is this clip, and I watched the whole interview of Blake Lively speaking to a Fox reporter, and he asks a very poignant question. He asks her, you know, if fans are going through this, how do you approach, and I'm paraphrasing, how do you approach addressing them, and how do you approach speaking to them, which could have been such a moment of depth and honesty and, you know, connection to her fans. And she just, in such a such a two-dimensional way, says, you know, should I share my location? Do you want me to? It's just very, it comes across just like nasty, and it's very shameful. It's just like, wow. But anyways, so with that aside, let's get into the reading. And I do want to hear, if you've seen that, I do want to hear your opinion about it. And yeah, so with that aside, I'm going to remove my biases. I'm going to just read what the tarot tells me. So I pre-shuffle the cards. I'm using the lightest tarot, and with the past energy I get 8 of Swords. So I see here that there was kind of this idea to rebrand the movie, but I don't think Justin was aware of it. And I do remember now, he said he optioned it. He bought it. If you don't know what option is, it's when you buy the rights to something. You have to get the writers' approval. It's just, oftentimes when you buy the rights to a movie, you buy the rights to a screenplay or a book, and you have to get the writers basically option. That's what it means to option it. I don't know if I explained that properly. So you have to get it optioned off, and then you get the rights to make it into a film or a series. So he optioned it a few years ago, and I think he wanted to stay as true to it, and this is now what I see coming out. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like some of his stuff of what he's saying is kind of PR, obviously, because he's an actor. I'm not saying that he doesn't have true intentions, but he has been coached what to say. I don't think he wanted to make money off of this. I really don't. I think money was a plus, but it was changed and rebranded into that. And I'll tell you why I think that. I'll tell you why. I just want to clarify this. So with 10 of Wands, I get that it was very difficult. There was clashing. Lots of clashing. So the present being 4 of Pentacles, this is why I think that the rebranding became about money, especially with Colleen. I think that she might have had some finance issues. I don't know this. This is the energy that I get. I haven't seen this online or anywhere. But I think very strongly that she has had some financial issues, some personal life issues. I think she might even have some addiction issues. And that's what prompted her, Colleen, to side on the money side. So let's see. Let's clarify. 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, so they all came together. 8 of Wands. They all came together and they're like, you know what? Let's make this a box office hit. But I don't think Justin was comfortable with this. And as a sun in Aquarius, I'm a sun in Aquarius. Justin's sun in Aquarius. Blake Lively is the sun of Virgo. I don't know Colleen's birthday. I don't know Colleen Hoover's birthday. But I'm going to tell you this about Aquarius. And I know us very well. In fact, he has the same birthday as my sister. My sister would have been 2 years older than he is. So he's what? No, a year older than he is. Because he's 40 right now. She was going to be 41. But she would have been 41. But something about Aquarius, and this is something I've had to learn growing up. We are often, and I just went through a circumstance like this, we don't like group thinking. If somebody goes, we don't like followers, we don't like group thinking. In fact, we will go against the grain on purpose just so we don't have to be around the crowd. So if somebody, and especially if we are, there's 2 different types of Aquarius. There's the jaded Aquarius, and then there's Aquarius that wants to be better. And I see Justin being the kind of Aquarius that wants to be better, where I feel like he challenges himself daily to be a better person. I just get that energy. Not because I've liked him, but I just get that energy. I'd be very shocked if the allegations of him being chauvinistic and so forth were true. Even though I have been told that in the past, I just don't, it didn't really make sense to me, you know. Not because I liked him and Jane the Virgin. I just, like I have said before, I've been fans of people that I've had to be honest about, or fans of their work that I've had to be honest about. But he just gives me that energy. He gives me pure, I get very pure energy from him. So with that being said, Aquarius, especially when we like to stay true to ourselves, we don't care how much money's in it. We don't care what celebrity's going to do it. All we want, and I think he was pressured to bring Blake Lively on, and he regrets it. He regrets it a lot. All we want is for our message to come across, and all we want, and that's been a struggle for me as a Sun and Aquarius my whole life, sometimes more than others, is people going, group thinking. And a lot of people are sheep, and it infuriates us because we can also see, especially in a group mentality, we often tend to be alone, we tend to be loners. And when we are loners and we get into groups, people often are jealous of that. And sometimes, the other signs too, like Scorpios are like us, that's why we get along with Scorpios. Geminis tend to be like that too. When we get into a group, people think that we think we're better because we don't want to hang out with everybody, but we don't. We're just very particular about our energy and who we have around us. And for some reason, that really irks certain people. And they start to gossip, they start to make up lies, they start to do all these things to hide the fact that really deep down, they're insecure, So that's the energy that I see about Blake. I see her, and I want to do a reading on her and Ryan because I sense a lot of issues, And I will say this, I really did, even though I heard stories about Blake Lively, like I said, I loved her on Gossip Girl. And I bought into this whole Hollywood couple thing in the beginning when they got married, and I remember they got married in a plantation. I didn't really like that, but I was like, you know what, they have freedom to get married wherever they want to. But it's just certain things, and I don't know her as a person, certain things that she's done that made me question her character, just aside from the reading. So with the future being Knight of Wands, question his character too, because I used to like randomers too. He's a great Deadpool, really, really great Deadpool, but again, the person who acts is different to the person who lives, So the Knight of Wands being the future, I see here some kind of celebration. Let's see what the celebration is. Monetary celebrations. They're going to announce a second one. See that? They're going to announce the second one because it's done financially very well. But let's see. But Justin's not a part of it. So I think that's why he's getting his alleged lawyer team together. In fact, let's do that. Why is he getting... Well, they're going to let go of a few people, and I see Justin being one of those people. And he didn't option the second book. So he doesn't have to be a part of the second one. But they're going to let go of him. So let's see why he hired a lawyer. This is alleged. Let's see if it's true. He hired Johnny Depp's lawyer and PR team. Let's see. This is sad. He feels kicked out. The Hanged Man. He feels kicked out, and he wants the judgment for people to see that he wasn't the reason why he was kicked out. Because I think he kind of feels, and this is something Aquarius we struggle with, I can very much relate to this. I can definitely, and it's just recently happened to me in a group of friends where when one friend doesn't like you, they'll start to talk stuff about you. When one colleague doesn't like you, they'll start to talk stuff about you, And you really have to stay true to yourself, especially because Aquarius, we are so private people, we, especially Aquarius like Justin. He doesn't like to show his bad side to people, and that makes people think he's fake or he's putting on a show, and he just wants to show people like, I'm not this monster, and he's been advised by, I think he sees psychics too. He's been advised by somebody spiritually aligned that this is the best way to go, to clear his name. He wants to clear his name. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. How is he going to clear his name? So, 3 of Wands by letting go, 10 of Pentacles, and 8 of Cups. He wants to let go and do completely different projects. I think he's done with commercial Hollywood. It put a stain in his mouth. And he is from LA, you know, and being an Aquarius, I can relate a lot to the situation. Let me tell you, that's why I left LA. And Blake Lively's from LA too, and she definitely gives me LA girl vibes. You know, people are so funny because people will be like, oh, people in LA will say, oh my gosh, it's the transplants that come here. But I mean, and I'm just speaking in general terms, okay? Just my experience. And people will say that are from LA, oh, it's the transplants that come here. My most awful experiences with people from LA were with people from LA. And there's this sense of, especially being from the East Coast, I've lived in the East Coast most of my life, there's this energy. East Coast, you know, even though I live in Miami, sometimes people can be rude, but you know where you stand, you know, if this person's rude, I don't have to deal with them, you know. But in LA, there's a sneakiness that happens that is the reason why I think he is done with commercial. It's commercial, you know, it's very fake, it's pop, it's smile on your face, talk about you behind your back 2 seconds later, that kind of energy. And even though it does happen in Miami, I see happening in Miami, you know, it's not on a commercial level in other places outside of LA. In LA, it's on a commercial level where people are afraid to tell you the truth in your face because they're afraid to lose deals with you. So they'll say it behind your back, and then that person goes to the media, and you know, so forth and so forth. So he's going to get down to the root of it, and he's going to clear his name, whether it's legally or through the media. He's going to clear his name, and when we hear about it, it's going to be big. So I see a sequel coming, and I see also him clearing his name as to why he's not a part of the sequel, and him being done with commercial Hollywood. He's going to focus on independent films like he's used to. And honestly, Aquarius, because we are so eccentric and different, especially Aquarius in our healing energy, commercial is not for us. Commercial, corporate, things that chain us, make us different, you know, that's when we become jaded. But a lot of us, we are in our element, doing things, working for ourselves, being independent, freelancing. That's when we can really shine. We're not good at corporate, and I think this has proved this to him. So hope you enjoyed that. This was actually really fun, really fun video to do, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. I also would love to hear your opinion on it. There's been a lot of commentary about it in general, and I'd love to say I love you all. Take care.